Thank you for praying with us today. As I mentioned in the calendar of the church, this day is the memorial of St. Peter Claver, who unselfishly ministered in substance and in spirit to the Africans forcibly brought to the New World and forced to serve as slaves. He lived Christ's call to respect and treat with dignity all persons gifted by God with life. Today also has been raised up by the bishops of the United States as a day of prayer for peace in our communities. The purpose is to seek ways in which the divisions among us, racial and otherwise, might be reconciled and healed. And that need is present in our own state, our communities, in our church. And here today in the Diocese of Sioux Falls, we raise up with respect and gratitude and support those who serve in the protective professions in what is called a blue Mass, reflected at its beginnings the blue of the uniforms worn by the police. Today we now remember the police, but also firefighters, emergency technicians, corrections officers, and others including support staff who protect society and persons with vigilance and who respond with action in times of need. Their role is not simply a job, but a calling to ensure civility, safety, and freedom in the midst of our fallen world. We also pray for the families who serve in their own way. Catholic social teaching speaks of the need to protect the common good. And when we do, men and women are able, despite our diversity, to live together in freedom and with security. And that is what these brave men and women seek to assure every day. Those in the protective professions at the federal, state, county, and municipal levels, and also in the private sector, are defenders of the common good. Sadly, too often, we take their courage, their heroism, and their sacrifice for granted. When tragedies caused by the violence of people or the violence of nature occur, most of us watch from afar. The police, firefighters, EMTs, and others respond immediately and with valor, often into unknown and dangerous situations. Their daily duty, often unseen, should be noticed and appreciated, and we seek to do so today. An Iraq war veteran offered a moving and powerful point. He said that as dangerous and as difficult as was the soldier's duty in Iraq, he knew that he would be in harm's way only for a period of time and then come home. The police and others, he noted, are in harm's way every day, all the time. We remember the corrections officer who not only monitors prison or jail life, but also encourages the young men and women to look beyond the moment and prepare to begin anew. Remember the probation officer who not only assures a sentence is complied with, but also befriends and encourages those placed in his or her care. Remember the police officers, including those who patrol around this cathedral neighborhood and reach out to youth by presence and word before trouble occurs and encourages healthy living. Remember those who assist the addicted or depressed to safety and treatment. Remember the trooper along the interstate who attends to horrible accidents and by diligence in enforcing the law prevents more accidents. Remember the EMTs who arrive in minutes, when minutes can be the difference between life and death. Remember the firefighters who save people in buildings and contain the spread of such a destructive force. Remember the officers who lead funeral processions so that those who grieve can say goodbye with respect and dignity. Remember all who must put up with false alarms, inhospitable welcomes, and the danger of violence lurking, and yet do so with such professionalism and courtesy. This litany could go on. We also recall today those who have given their lives to protect ours, and for the families who miss them. I've recalled this true story on many occasions, but its personal impact on me has etched in my mind appreciation and admiration for those who work in law enforcement and public safety with such courage, competency, and compassion. The 150-year-old Cathedral of St. Raphael in Madison, Wisconsin was set on fire by an arsonist while I was sleeping in the attached rectory. I rose from bed as usual about 5:30 in the morning and turned on the radio to learn the weather forecast. Instead, I heard that a 4-alarm fire was blazing at St. Raphael Cathedral, which is where I was. So I threw on some clothes and went outside to see what was going on, thinking only a minor disturbance. What I encountered was a block surrounded by fire trucks shooting streams of water toward the front of the cathedral, only yards from my bedroom. Safety personnel were scouring the area in search of those who, like me, might be at risk. The police were controlling traffic and the curious. The EMTs were on site, ready to attend to people like me. As I stood in the coldness of the March dawn, it seemed that the fire was localized to the bell tower. I wondered whether I could get into the other end of the church to retrieve the Blessed Sacrament reserved in the tabernacle. Suddenly there was a swoosh, and horrendous orange flames flew down the expanse of the roof. I knew I could not retrieve the Blessed Sacrament. I was saddened, and my heart ached. Some hours later, the cathedral was just a shell. The fire was under control, though smoldering continued and small flash fires would spring up. I asked the chief if we might check to see if the tabernacle was saved. At first there was hesitation and a look that said, "It's dangerous in there." But one firefighter overheard, and understanding the importance of what I was asking, volunteered to take me in. Debris had fallen and blocked the view of the tabernacle, but I pointed out this location and then, at their request, withdrew because it was dangerous in there. After a little while, 3 brave firefighters in full regalia, blackened from their dangerous and courageous work, came walking slowly toward me with great reverence. One carried the large ciborium, which contained the body of Christ consecrated at the Mass just the night before. And it glistened so golden that it seemed beyond this world. Earlier, I had teared up at the loss of the building, for my life had changed forever. Now I wept for joy at this beautiful sight, at the presence of the Lord, a gift of hope from those brave professionals who went beyond the call of duty. That day, I personally experienced what those we remember today are prepared to do every day to save lives and to protect the peace, including here at home and here in our midst. There's an old saying, without hope, the heart would break. You in law enforcement and public safety professions, by your presence, your courage, your compassion, and your fidelity to duty, come what may, are messengers of hope in a world in so need of such encouragement and witness. Thank you for who you are, what you do, and how you do it. You respect life, you offer reconciliation, and you are signs of hope. May God bless and protect you, your staffs, and your families.